greets to Glasgow.
Indeed, we are here.
We are
Let's see if
here
this
with
works.
a little bit of hiccups with some tech. Restart was just performed 1 minute before going live. So let's check if everything is good.
Can everyone hear both of us?
Yeah.
Please leave a comment if you can hear us both.
Yeah.
I know there's a couple of people in the audience, so if you can let us know if you can hear us, that would be great.
Yeah, definitely, because we need to figure out if everything is not even groomed, you know.
Yeah.
We need some. I see my CPU load is a little bit high now, so we need to calm that computer down.
Let it settle down.
Yeah.
Because we've got things to talk about. We've got some things to talk about today.
Definitely.
Obviously, we've got today's draw for the 2 watches. So this will be what day is this? Friday. So this will be the 4th last. So there's today, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday is the final draw. So obviously, we're slowly but surely getting towards the end of this watch giveaway. So we've given away many so far, and I think we've touched pretty much all the major continents that have entered. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So let's see who wins today, because the odds are better than they were at some points, because some of the big volume ticket purchasers have won watches and therefore are now out of running. So there is now most people who have relatively touched pretty much all the
Wait, sorry. I have a
things.
problem here now.
Okay, let's see who partly we're getting the sign that the audio is good. Comments, so that's good news.
Wait, so now I had additional sound on here from the YouTube playing into my thing, but you hear me, yeah?
There we go.
Okay,
Right.
Just that I can see the participated in the work process. What is that? You need to purchase vouchers. Well, someone is helping us here. Mette is helping us in London. He also made some nice compilation of our London trip. Very nice.
Indeed. Yes, he did. So I put also notes up there into the chat about where exactly you can buy it. So I've added the links in and a link to all the terms and conditions.
Yeah.
So final time you can buy tickets is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1400 CET on Monday. That's the last day that you can actually buy tickets. That gives us time to add you into the final draw on Monday. So please remember that after 2 you can no longer buy tickets. If you do buy them after, well, you won't be able to, because we will disable the purchasing button in the store, so to make sure no one buys them after the point where you can't be added to the raffle. So there we go. So we've also got Devil Gin. Sounds good now. I like the idea of that. I like the sound of Devil Gin, to be honest. I like gin.
Yes, that's yours. Gin is yours. I know that.
Indeed.
Okay.
So on the screen you can see the three things we're going to cover today.
Yeah.
We're going to cover the raffle.
Yeah.
Of course we are. There's 2 watches to give away. We're going to have a quick chat about the Paris and London trip that we were on over the last week. And then we have got a couple of additional dial samples to show you of the other dial colours for the Autark Tourbillon, that being the black dial, the blue dial and the salmon dial. Before we get there though, and I will say it, I've said it many times, these are very early samples. They are not the final samples. They have got things that are not correct about them, but it gives you a flavour of where we're getting to with them. I think the blue one is almost perfect. The black's got a couple of bits it needs doing, and the salmon one's got a bit of work to go in it yet, but we will get to those later in this little live. So Andy, what do you want to flip on to?
Next slide. I think we get the draw out of the way, because we have a lot of pictures and people want to look at watches, and because I have them here on the table, and the dials, we should do that first. If there's any sounds so good now. Okay, that sounds good. We are there already. We are on day 12. Correct.
Day 12 of 15.
Yeah, 12 of 15.
26th of April, which is today.
And
correct. We're all good. So happy days.
So what is given away is those guys here.
One brown, one black.
Yeah,
so
one brown and
35
one black.
milliliters. These are from the early days of HORAGE.
Yeah,
and we are giving those ones away.
And
then if we quickly move on to the next
the
slide.
rules are
Rules, we've talked about these. We've talked about these every day, so you shouldn't have any problem following these rules. But basically, to give you an overview of the rules, one voucher equals one entry. You can buy as many entries as you wish. The more entries you buy, the more chances you have. But you can only win once. Once you've won, all your remaining vouchers come out of the draw. That said, they retain their credit value. So from that side of things, super easy. Other than that,
they look
one
like that.
Colour each day.
By the way,
that's the vouchers. You can buy them on the website. Yep. If you go to the website, all you need to do is click on the shop, go into the promotion section, and you can find the vouchers. Also in the chat in today's live, I put the direct link to the product as well if you wish. All the terms and conditions, fulfilling all of the kind of minutiae and the small print, is all on the website. So you can dive onto the website and you can see all the terms and conditions. Along with that, there's also the 15% discount as part of our 15th birthday celebrations. Again, that runs until Monday. We did extend both the credit vouchers and the 15% promo to the 29th, an extra week, because we were still doing the draws. So we thought it only fair to make sure everyone has an equal opportunity. But come Monday, that deal has gone. So please do take advantage of it if that's something that interests you, or if you see a watch that you've got your eye on it. The only exceptions to the discount are the Autark Tourbillon, the Autark Small Seconds, that's the K2 version, and the Precious Metal Tourbillon 2s, primarily because they are already on a pre-order promotional price. So we can't, unfortunately, as much as we would love to be the most generous folk in the world, unfortunately we can't give a discount on a product that's already at a special price, because unfortunately we all need to buy our food as well. So
really,
everything. Apparently, yes. Apparently, we need to eat. But yes, outside of that, everything is included in the sale. So please do take advantage if you wish. So,
and please don't get confused when I look at other screens, because from this reboot thing, I need to on the fly open all the windows again, which I actually meticulously have been opening before. And then Dave couldn't call me, so just don't get confused when I look at some other screens once in a while Dave is talking about food. So next slide.
So the numbers for today, we have had a total of 131 individuals have bought tickets over the campaign. 24 countries they come from. Total number of tickets that have been purchased is 3,817. And the number of active tickets today is 291. So there are a few people who bought some big volume, but absolutely, we've only got 291 in today's draw. So your chances are
pretty good,
significantly better than they have maybe been some days. Let's make put it like that. So I think there are very few people with any big volume tickets in the draw now, because most of them have either won something already. So
that's how it works.
Let's move along then.
I think we don't need to talk about that. There's a generator, there's a list.
All the details.
There's a list which we collect all the numbers. We clean it up when someone has won something. Then we type it in the generator, and then we figure that out and tell you who has won. So I think we should do that now.
We should. So let's move along. So you need to set.
Wait a second. I will bring up the empty slide of that day today. Correct?
Us. And and you need to bring up your generator as well, please.
So, but is that day 15? Is that correct? Yeah. Just to make it clear.
No, not day 15.
Yeah,
You're on the hidden slides. No. You've unhidden the slides. You've pushed up the wrong slides there, Andy. You need to go back a bit.
Here.
See the grey ones? It's a white one. There you go.
There we are. Hidden slides. You are a smart guy.
That's why they're grey.
Okay. So I suggest I bring in here my friends from Google, which are having this super nice number generator. So they told me, wait, so everything is in line here with best practice 291, it says here.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. I just make that a little bit bigger.
You need to be set.
We set this
minimum to 1.
291. So
correct.
now we can generate that. Should we do that now?
Number.
We just do that. Yeah.
Yep. So this is the first one. Today is for the first drop for the brown dialed original Omnium 35.
And
so you hit the magic blue button, Andy.
You know why I'm sitting so far to the right? Because there's the microscope. Okay, the number is 191. So let's type in that number.
291.
291 is, and I draw it already.
You click.
Yeah, I clicked already.
19. There we go. 191.
191.
I keep looking.
So,
if you wonder why we're looking at the live screen, and we're also looking at YouTube itself, but there's a 10-second delay, which is the most confusing thing in the world sometimes when you're trying to look at two screens. So 191.
okay, so I type that in.
Does that bring up
191. That brings the name Jamie from the UK.
Jamie. So we have a UK winner. Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that might be the first winner from the UK.
Yeah.
We've had quite a few winners from the US.
So
A good number from Switzerland.
let me
Good
now
few from Hong
type
Kong.
in the
I think that might be the first.
correct things here. Day 12,
Absolutely.
and we type in number 191 was the number. The name was Jamie.
Yes. Jamie. And his winning ticket number is 13047. It looks like, if my eyesight doesn't deceive me.
13047, yes, 13047. And the country is...
And then the country is the United Kingdom, or UK.
Country of toffee pudding.
Indeed.
Didn't eat that.
And Scotch eggs.
Yeah, Scotch eggs. Scotch eggs. We'll come to that later. So that's correct. Just cross check again. 191. Jamie, UK, order number 1347. Because I need to...
047.
047, because I need to clean the list now.
Yep, so you need to exclude.
Yeah, exclude this number 13047. So where are we? 12, day 12, 13047. Okay.
Enter.
Enter. Hide, because we don't want people not to see all that, which they shouldn't see. And clean this
Absolutely.
number.
That number out.
So that
Excellent.
means
So that brings down the number of tickets to
288.
288.
So it was a lucky one,
So
3
back
tickets,
in
yeah.
the sheet. 3 tickets, yeah. Definitely in the last couple of days, people with smaller number of tickets have been getting lucky. Obviously, because some of the big volume ticket players are now out of the game.
Yeah.
So that is a good thing for people with smaller numbers of tickets. So that is for the first today. That's the brown dial. We're now going to move on to the draw for the second today,
88.
which is the black dialed version. So we need to update the maximum number
I
there.
did that.
What is the maximum number?
288. And the number I draw is 57. So I type that in.
So
57.
who is this lucky second winner?
Oh, Taiwan.
Taiwan. So we have again one in Europe and one in Asia.
And
so
I
we have another Taiwanese winner.
I see
Few
two
Taiwanese
numbers
winners over the
here.
last few days.
I see 2 numbers. Does it mean that he bought 2 times separate orders?
2 batches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you need to do is, I'll talk you through it when you update it.
Okay.
That's
I'll
easy
take
enough to
that
do.
to the side so you can see it from your side now.
So, congratulations on today's 2 winners, one from the UK, one from Taiwan.
Yeah.
You will be receiving an email from me in the next few hours just to confirm that you're a winner and to confirm your shipping and delivery details. So expect that email, as I say, over the next few hours from me as well. And I know that Eileen and Helen and Maria and the watchmaking team have been preparing these watches and getting them ready, so that by next week, most of them should be getting ready to be shipped out to all the lucky winners. So that is excellent news for those guys. So please do keep an eye on your email if you've won, and please do confirm back to me your address, phone number, and emails to make sure that everything is good.
So you see.
So what's Arthur saying? Arthur is saying trippy, laggy time shift stuff today is the lie, maybe a little bit lagging today. We've definitely had a few techie glitches today. Maybe the internet's not playing and feeling generous today.
The question now I have is how do I copy that Taiwanese name?
That's okay. We can. You need to, if you look at what's it, 12972. If you click on the first tab, Andy, on the bottom, the first tab on the spreadsheet. No, the bottom of the spreadsheet.
List.
And look for number 12 in the list. Look down 12972, and then you'll be able to copy and paste it from there.
I'm gonna just find it. I'll control find. 12.
I can help you.
972.
Yeah.
Here.
Certainly help.
Aha.
You got it?
Aha. He has.
And what you need to do is you also need to copy and paste those two numbers exactly as they are into the excluder as well, once you've finished with the name.
Because we know him. He has an English name also.
Yes, I think is it Minson?
Yeah, it's Minson.
Right?
Then we write Minson.
Yeah, excellent. So we will be, yes. In fact, I think I was speaking to him a couple of days ago. Yeah. So he will be hopefully a very happy guy.
Minson, our fan. Good. Minson.
So Andy's just updating the details, and then
here writing in the wrong place here. Taiwan. Minson. Good.
And then we can move on to the exciting news about certain updates, especially with the dials and our little trip.
So you said I hard copy those guys out.
Yeah. And then second tab.
Put it in the draw.
And then exclude them, correct. That's you. You just add that into the list and that will exclude those. And then we can tell people how many we're down to for tomorrow. Yeah, just paste in there.
Good.
And enter. You need to click enter after you've done it.
Yeah.
Good. And close that down. And how many are we at now?
251.
251. So tomorrow your odds have got even better if you're still in the draw. 251. Obviously, if anyone buys any tickets though between now and tomorrow, that number might go up a little bit before we do the draw, but it's slowly, surely your odds are getting better if you're still in the draw. So good luck. There's still, obviously, let's see, there's 2, 4, 6 watches still up for grabs, so plenty of opportunities still. We've got plenty of chances. So congratulations everyone. So Minson and our UK winner today as well, so you'll be expecting those emails. So we will be back tomorrow obviously to do the draw, but before we go today we have some other things to talk about.
Yep.
So I'll let Andy, I think he's saved everything that he needs to save now.
I think so. I hope so.
Great. Good. And then we've been on our travels.
Yeah.
So Andy and Sue went via Paris. I was not in Paris, but they went via Paris doing some research trips.
A surprise by Mette, actually, where I got my Scottish eggs treatment in the Soho house, and I could actually play that thing because he compiled a lot of our pictures and we just talk about them. If you are fine with that, absolutely. Because it's super nice, well done. Absolutely. Since he's a camera guy and a film guy, it was like, send me a couple of pictures and I will do that for you. And I need to just think about the right setup because it was also interrupted by my screen face, so let's do it like this.
By your restart.
Yeah, by the restart exercise, but I think I now have a good way of doing it. So minutes. I hope my computer doesn't go down the drain because it is a little bit of some megabytes now being operated. So we let the computer,
Let's see where it is.
yeah, it's coming.
Here we go.
A little bit of sound. We leave the sound in there, yeah? So that was actually in Paris. Cool, eh?
Very good. So yes, Andy and Sue went via Paris, doing a little bit of recce, looking at trends, seeing what's coming in, going out of fashion. You know, Paris is definitely one of the homes of the cutting edge.
By the way,
fashion.
Chef Kuhn's amazing artwork, and we got some Peking duck, by the way, which is always when you travel with some Asian person, then if there is Peking duck, then you have to do that. And seafood, of course, in Paris. And what else do you see in Paris? Ramen, tons of it. And so we did some serious research all over the place in order to figure out what's going on in the Paris landscape here. And we also looked for some locations because there might be something coming up soon. I don't know, soon, you know, in a couple of weeks or months. And that's why we were traveling a little bit. And of course, Tourbillon was always with us, and it ended up in the Brand Film Awards in London with you in your green dress, and we were on stage there. Okay, we didn't win it.
Absolutely.
But
we didn't win, but we had been shortlisted into the final list of films, which was, you know, a pretty big competition, and we were, I believe, certainly the only watch brand or watch company that had anything nominated, and we were up against some pretty big hitters.
Yeah.
The BBC being one of them, possibly one of the biggest producers of television and films in the world, along with many other big corporations and companies. And there were some amazing films, it has to be said. We love our film, but there were some very good films, especially some of the charity sector films. There may have been a wee tear in some people's eyes in some of the films because they were so well done. But yes, it was just really nice to see it. We were there, lots of filmmakers and creative types there as well.
And we ended up in the Soho house eating these eggs, which I talked about before.
You weren't sure what a Scotch egg was until you tried one, and then it became one of your new favourite things. There is another victory for British cuisine. And who says the British can't do fancy food? Well, we can't really. We just deep fry everything.
Mette did another nice one.
Somewhat tasty.
I show you another one. Yeah.
There we go. There we go. So Andy enjoying his first experience of a Scotch egg, where, as we're British, deep fry it. It's not good for your heart, it's not good for your health, but it's definitely good for your taste buds. So yes, indeed, that was a lovely trip, and we managed to luck out with the weather. It managed to stay somewhat dry, although I think Sue was feeling a little bit on the colder side, because it was definitely not.
That's why she needed to go shopping, and we ended up in this Place Vendôme kind of store in the third floor, which you can only go in by appointment. And there she found a very nice white pullover shielding her from the cold. So the whole thing was not completely useless. And you know, I mean, the shopping thing, going with the girls shopping, everybody knows how that ends. We didn't make it far from the subway station into the first road, and that was it. So that's why I couldn't join you in this last live, you know. But it's a lot of fun because we had a good time to. And I always like that because you have time to observe the whole exercise. Yeah, you have time to observe the people, and I love that, sitting around in the stores and look at people, what they're actually buying and doing there.
Watching their behaviours, watching what they are looking at, what they're not looking at, and even just listening to what they have to say about things. So yeah, it's definitely interesting from just taking a step back from the world just being surrounded by watches and looking at the wider picture definitely gives you a bit of foresight and a bit of thought into how things are out in the wide world, because ultimately all of you that are buying our watches live in the real world, not in Watchtown in Switzerland. So it's always nice to get out. And in fact, next week we will definitely be amongst you. If you're in North America, we will be in San Francisco and Los Angeles. We will be in San Francisco for the Wind Up Fair, which is the first time we will have been there in a good number of years. We did go in the early days, but we are back, and we're going to be there for the Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And later in the year, we will also be back at New York for the Wind Up Fair, I believe in October. But alongside that,
and what do we bring
got
there?
a few different. Well, everyone, in fact, most people in the US, if you go to the Wind Up Fair, you will be amongst the very first people outside of HORAGE in the world to actually see the Autark Tourbillon.
I think I need to show that now, right away.
It needs to get out of the system.
Because I put a new camera in place, and that new camera, I just need to think which I need to choose.
Which button?
Look at them. Look at that.
There we go. So the grey dial is one that was the first of the early prototypes to be built up, and Andy has had that on his wrist now for a good number of weeks. But he's been wearing that. It has been tortured almost, but not to death, because it has survived. But it has been snowboarding, it has got wet, it has had everything possibly thrown at it, including quite a number of Gs as well. And that is one of the first samples. It's 98 to 99% complete.
And I just want to show what I'm doing here. I have now a remote operator for my camera that I can do all kind of things with.
Is this your new bot cameras?
The bot cameras which you flashed and updated, and they are one of them. I just tried how to operate it and what are the setups, and that blue thing on the right side got just fresh off the bench and will travel with us. Both of them will travel with us to the US.
Yep, absolutely. Now, on the grey dial, the only thing that is waiting in terms of full functionality of the watch is a little component we're waiting on for the power reserve.
Yeah.
It is not an operating power reserve, but everything else about the watch, the chronometry, the timekeeping, and I believe it has been keeping exceptionally good time, considering that it is a very early prototype and it has merely been built as a proof of concept and to show that everything is running, but it is keeping exceptionally good time, I believe.
Yes, I cannot see any, to be honest. I just was wearing it, abusing it as much as I can, and probably some small tiny things, there's probably some gear play here and something there, but it's nothing which would keep us from just finishing that thing out of the gate. So it is
super happy.
It's such an unbelievably good product that I'm surprised by myself, I have to say. We can do that.
And as you can see with the grey dial, this has the fume effect. It has the gold outlining on the appliques, so you have the loom plotted appliques, but with the gold plating on the edges, and you have the kind of gold hands. Whereas, and this is the first time anyone outside the company has seen it, these only arrived yesterday.
Yep.
This is the blue sunray dial. Now the blue dial is without power reserve, the grey dial with power reserve, the blue without. The other major difference is you have silver hands, silver appliques.
Yeah.
A lot of noise there, Andy.
There's some vacuum cleaner. Probably wait a second. I need to. Is there noise all over the place now, or?
Yeah. I can hear it. It's like a lot of. Yeah, it must be. It's gone now. I think it's gone now. Because someone broke out the vacuum cleaner. I hear.
Yeah. But I know.
Good.
Wait a second. One second.
And he's off to give them into trouble because they're hoovering whilst we're live. But yes, the blue dial is the sunray dial without power reserve, and in a small minute you will also. Here's Andy shouting. But you'll be able to see the black dial,
Sorry.
and you'll be able to see a very early part of it.
We are alone here,
as well.
you know.
Indeed. So yes, the blue dial is, I think, almost where it's going to be as a production dial. It's very close to being correct. The only major issue is I think the HORAGE logo needs to come down on the dial a little bit. Is that what Sue was saying?
Yeah.
So slight changes and variations, but the colorway certainly is extremely good, super nice. And then maybe, Andy, we can flick on to show a little bit of the other dials.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do right now. Yeah, I need to, let me see how to switch into that and remove that caps here. Oh, because there is a black one waiting, and I'm obviously not allowed to touch that stuff. Right, that's the wrong one. So now I need to use that desktop camera. And
so this is the black dial. Now, by all accounts, it is
black.
Proving difficult to photograph, but the black dial has also got a bit of a sun ray effect on there as well, and you have this small reddy orange highlight on the rehaut ring, and again this will be with the silver hands and it has the silver edging. The only thing on this dial that's not complete is the inside edge of the tourbillon cutout will also have the same orangey red marker, not on the face of the dial but on the inside edge and the cutout area of it, so that's still to be added. So this black dial is a very early one, just to get an idea of colour. Not quite complete, but the next batch of these will be complete, but it shows again the black dial without power reserve. So as it stands, the grey dial will have power reserve only, the black will not have power reserve, the blue will not have power reserve. And then we also have the salmon dial, which will come both with or without power reserve. Now these are, before you see them, very early, because they don't have the fume effect on them yet. So these will have a fume effect similar in many respects to the grey dial, but this is merely a colour sample to get a feel for
underground.
The salmon.
Yeah, correct. So.
Yes. So you can see here both the non-power reserve variant and the power reserve variant on the salmon as well. So yes, quite interesting. I really am looking forward to seeing the salmon with the fume effect, but the blue, I think the blue is the one that in many of the renders is the most underwhelming of all the colours.
Shall I show the renders actually? I have prepared some slides with renders and shot
the real thing,
and then we can take it to the next level and try to compare that even to the camera version, you know.
There we can see the grey render, so the full watch is the render, and the picture to the right is the actual dial. So you can see that in terms of the grey, this first grey sample dial has a stronger fume than maybe indicated on the render.
And I shot it with my phone just before, so and there's nothing. It very much depends on the light falls into it, because there's the structure, but we all agree, everybody who has seen this watch agrees that it should be like that and not like the grey we have in the CGI.
Yeah, I think it's come out much more strongly than the render, and everyone so far that's seen it has really liked it. The structure, the texture, and this kind of aggressive darkening of the fume is absolutely amazing in real life, and it does certainly play with the lights. In the brighter sunshine, it is a lighter tone, and it develops these kind of darker, moodier colour palettes as you move into the darker colours and the lower light areas. So yeah, great looking dial, and there it is. In fact, in real life, you can see compared to the photo, you do have this lighter area in the centre, whereas the photograph Andy took, definitely the dial looked darker. But when you change the light, you get it to play quite a lot with the kind of colour and tone.
I need to figure out where actually the light, where I have too much light on top here. Yes, it's a little bit difficult with all the light everywhere shining.
Absolutely.
So it's probably just twisting it a little bit. So that's a pretty good comparison, I would say, huh?
Absolutely. So that is the grey.
Yeah.
And if you're in the States, remember, you'll get, if you come to Wind Up Fair in San Francisco next week, or in fact a week today it starts, you will be able to see these in real life and handle them. Only 8.8mm stick, 85 grams complete weight, including the bracelet, all grade 5 titanium with the micro adjust clasp. It definitely needs to be held, worn, and felt to be appreciated, it has to be said.
Yeah.
So that is the grey.
Let's go to
I think the
blue.
next slide is the blue.
Yeah, there's a blue one.
You can see the blue slide that's about to come up. So this is the blue dial in the render that you can see coming up on the screen now, and that is a photograph of the blue
As it
dial.
was put into that
This one-
watch just before I showed it to you.
Yep.
So now what
I
we
think
can do now,
it's-
I can put that under this camera again. I mean that, I think this one is probably, we assume, yeah, I mean that's from color and except some fine tweaking, that is pretty much spot on.
Exactly.
Right.
I think the blue one, the first prototype, is as closest to the render that we were to expect. And bear in mind and remember, all of these dials are the very, very first samples and prototypes. There will be changes. These are not the final production parts. They're not production dials. They are early prototypes. So please don't take these as that's what's going to be delivered. But there you can see the blue real life watch or first blue prototype against the blue render, which I think is fair to say they are both pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
The more texture, the more fumé affecting, etc. on the dials, the more difficult it is to both show in a render and match to a render as well. So there's more work, and the dial guy has been really loud. That
shit.
nothing out to say.
Yeah. Wait. Jeez, doesn't hear me. Either I run to her over and ask her to switch it off and you continue talking.
Yeah, because it's very loud when it comes out.
Yeah, there's nobody down there. We are alone here right now. And yeah, it's Friday, yeah? Friday is cleaning day.
And it's cleaning day, exactly. So this is the blue one. It's got quieter again, so we'll probably be okay because we've only got a one more dial color to show, but this has not been built into a watch, so we can't do the comparisons head to head with the others. But yes, I think it's fair to say the blue one is pretty close.
We just continue and accept that there's a vacuum cleaner somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's life, yeah. It's real life. Sometimes they also want to go home afterwards, and my decibel curtain is probably not strong enough to keep the vacuum cleaners out of that room, but that's okay. I'm not so complicated when it comes to that. So now next slide. The black one we had already, but we don't have it in a watch, so it doesn't make too much sense to compare that. Screen face, that one.
There we go. And again, outside of the inside edge of the Tourbillon cutout, which is still to get the colour application. Again, I would say the black is pretty close to the render. You can't super see the sunburst effect on the real dial, but in real life it is absolutely definitely there, and you can see it in real life. The darker colour makes it more difficult to photograph and show the sunburst, but when you play with it in real light, it definitely is there. So yes, the black one proving nice with that little orangey red pop of colour just on the rehot ring, and when it has that inside ring on the cutout, it will look amazing as well. So that is the black dial.
Which one? We have a comment here. Quantum says it doesn't live up to the CG picture. Which one?
I think possibly you might be talking about the grey, I'm not sure, because I think the blue one is almost identical. The grey sample for sure is slightly different. The grey colourway on the render is definitely a lighter tone. That remember, we are still working on various different
Yeah,
iterations
yeah,
of it
yeah.
as well.
Usually
So
you do
the
it three
final
times.
product, but I think it's fair to say, and we mean this genuinely, everyone that has seen the grey dial in real life has been really pleased with
Yeah.
it. It is for sure a darker color palette than the render was, but it looks amazing in real life. In many ways, I think the texture looks much better. Trying to render that
Yes.
texture was very difficult, and we've got some pretty good rendering guys, and even they were struggling to render that texture on the CGI mock-ups as well. So keep your eyes tuned because there will be updates as dials and new samples come through
So
as
last,
well. Last, salmon. Now this one here
no
is
fume.
very much about the color. There is no fumé effect on here. This is not even a sample that would be fitted into a watch, because we were maybe going to build a sample up with the salmon, but because there's no fumé effect on it, we are slowly getting there. You can see that the render possibly has a little more pink or orange in it, or peachy color. The actual sample ones are a slightly brighter salmon color at the moment, but these are very early samples. It's just
And
more
we
to
have
get
to
a
see a
feel.
spray
And
first and see how much, what type of spray is actually creating what type of shade. So you
yeah,
can't say anything on that, but since we have nothing to hide here in this company, we want to share this process and figure out how do we,
yeah,
what is actually, I mean, there are a ton of salmons at the end of the day, and we need to find the one which we enjoy most.
yeah, absolutely. And remember, if you have got one of these in order, you can change between dial colors up until merely probably 6 weeks before we deliver the watches in Q1 25. You will be able to, if you decide one of the other colors is for you, you'll be able to
Tons of
swap
time.
just by dropping us a little note. Loads of time to do that. I wouldn't go rushing, because we will be showing more and more different sample colors as we get more sample sets through. And when we have the final production grade colors and dials, we will tell you these are the final colors, and we will put pictures onto the website, and we will have a forum article about it, and we'll do many lives, no doubt, over the coming months about it as well. So you'll be able to make a decision nearer the time as to which one is your ultimate favorite. But we've got a little comment there from Chiho Ivan Chin saying the blue is gorgeous. Happy you chose the blue. I agree. Blue was probably my least favorite to begin with, but after having seen the dials, it's moving up the
You
charts.
see
And I
here,
think
here
I'm still a
on,
fan of the
under
grey.
this camera, you see now it's getting out of a sudden more pink.
Yeah,
So what I want
exactly.
to say
So
is,
it,
um,
you need to be
you
careful.
need to be very careful with judgment on what you see on a screen, on a camera, or whatever. I assume with this fume darkishness, it will come very close to what we will see on that screen.
Yeah.
Even if it,
And amazingly, just looking at that, you have the render, you have a live
yeah,
dial under the camera, and you have a photograph of the same dial. One looks bright gold, one looks mid salmony, one looks dark salmony, so it shows you that light can really mess with your brain
yeah,
sometimes. So yes, the salmon dial, when the fumé effect is applied, should look excellent
yeah,
as well. So there is a pretty solid update. You
yeah.
get to see all of the dial colors, albeit some almost complete, others early on in their color paletting. But dials are difficult to get right in terms of the color shades, and sometimes the dial guys have a lot of work to do, but they are working hard and long so that we can get these ready on time. If not, even maybe, fingers crossed,
Shall we
slightly
do
early.
a wrist shot thing here? Coming
You
to
can
an
do it,
end.
yes.
Damn reflection. I need to find out where I am. Sorry.
Your focal point. Oh, you're pretty much coming on to focal point there, I think. There we go. And you can see that sunburst effect or the sun ray effect on that as you change it into the light. But yeah, the blue is a super beautiful colour, a very classic traditional colour.
Too much
And yes,
reflections here.
thank you. Yeah, thank you for that comment, Marcus, saying loving looking behind the curtain and our transparency. Yes, it can get us into trouble sometimes because, when you show things very early on, occasionally people take it as that's the finished product, but we love to take folk along and show them how much work actually goes into these things. I think sometimes people believe that it's very easy. You can just paint a dial and you're done, but it takes a huge amount of work to get the textures, the effects, and the colors right. So yes, the blue one is looking very handsome, I have to say. I think that is a really good looking, classy
See
colorway on
here?
that watch.
No.
There we go. You keep just catching it and you just catching the light correctly and you can see that effect. Obviously, in real life, very different because you can have it directly in front of your own eyes. So yeah, looking really good. And please remember these are early samples. Even the cases, the bracelets, the dials, the movements, everything about these is still very much at the prototype stage.
Oh, so nice. I just went closer to that camera because it's a fixed length camera. Then I don't get so much reflection from these other things. Now it's coming out here.
There we go.
Yeah. That's what I like. Yeah.
And the Hoover is back, Andy.
Yeah. The Hoover is back here.
The Hoover is back. Yes.
I know she's coming closer and closer to my studio.
just as well, we're slowly getting towards the end of this live, but we have many more, another 3 days of draws to go as well, and then we'll be in the States. We might even try and see if we can pull off a little live from the US as well. We won't have the studio with us, but we will have some cameras and some laptops, and we will see what we can do to go live and maybe get a few people on to see what their thoughts on it are. And we will be taking some little video clips along the way to talk to people when they see the watches to get their real life impressions.
Yeah, good.
So there we go.
Vacuum cleaner is coming.
Vacuum cleaner's coming.
Sounds like a really deadly threat.
It does indeed, but yes, it's slightly deadly on the ears when it approaches. But there we go. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed seeing a little peek of what's happening with the dials, and it really shows that we've progressed significantly in a very short period of time with this watch and this model and the whole Mission Independence project. Seeing these different colours, it's only, as I say, they arrived yesterday morning, and already one of the watchmakers has managed to put together this engineering prototype for a blue dial so that you could all see it as a little pre-weekend treat. And there is the grey. I really do like that grey. I'm a big fan of the darker grey over the lighter grey. I'm sure some of you prefer the lighter grey, but for me, I think this darker grey with an almost browny hue tint to it is just a super nice colourway.
Yeah.
Good. So,
looks like
Andy, I think it is time to bid everyone a farewell for the Friday night.
Because the vacuum cleaners are coming. Sounds like the army of the vacuum cleaners.
Yeah. And we will see everybody tomorrow again. So that's being Saturday for the third last draw before the two final draws on Sunday and Monday. Remember the discount is still running to Monday, as we mentioned earlier. So if you see anything over the weekend that takes your fancy, that will be time begins to tick to run out on the Monday, so please do make use of that as well. You can see it on there. Everything is automatically applied. You don't need to use a code. Add the item to your basket, go to checkout. When you get to the checkout stage, it will automatically deduct the discount for you.
Yep. So that means we are gone. Over out.
We are gone. We see you all again tomorrow for the draw. Thank you for tuning in, and do put any comments, any questions into the YouTube. We will pick up any answers or comments you leave after. If not, drop us an email at lostintime@horage.com and we will get back to you if you have any more detailed questions that you want to ask. So thank you for joining us. Congratulations to today's winners, and if you're still in it, you have to be in it to win.